So today, what we're running through is the age-old question of whether or not to use the subject to agreement. Some people call it a contingency agreement. We have this written up as a property assessment. I've heard it called a bunch of things. Essentially what it is a contingency agreement. If I do this for you, you're gonna give me this, right? It makes sense. But it doesn't always work out that way. So we're gonna talk about the pros and cons, why to use them, why not to use them, and then what I have figured out in a couple decades of doing this that matters more than either way, right? So guys, I have tons of notes that I've had through the years of why to sign contingency, how to overcome objections, all the different types of contingencies. I mean, like for different states, these are all different companies I've owned. If anybody wants any of this, you're welcome to it. I'll just kind of read through it. This was Missouri 2015, I think, 14. We were called Noble Roofing. So Noble Roofing would provide the customer, the insurance carrier requested by the customer, a detailed scope of damage, area analysis, and a copy of this damage report. Noble Roofing is not a legal representative. However, we'll utilize trade knowledge and industry expertise to offer the detailed scope based on market conditions. I'm summarizing. There's two checkboxes here, right? First one is essentially, hey, we've been chosen. We're going to meet with the insurance company. We're going to attend the adjustment, provide documentation and analysis to the customer's carrier. In the event the adjustment process does not result in a full replacement for roofing side, the customer is in no way obligated to purchase a roof. And then there's some language in here. I kind of breezed past it. It says no additional cost but the deductible, right? So you guys know the gist of it. The second box is essentially a re-inspect. They've already been out. Insurance company said no go. We're going to come back out. We're going to meet them on the re-inspect. If we get it approved, we get to do it then, right? So that's essentially what all three of these say. This one has like a damage report card, you know, what was messed up, the severity of damage. This one has spots to mark it up, roof diagram, mark out the hail hits if you want, some damage notes, things like that, right? So a bunch of different ways to do it, slice it up. But essentially, let's talk about the reasons. I call this sub 2, okay? So the reasons to use a sub 2 and the reasons not. I guess you could say number one reason, it affirms commitment. So rather than just shaking hands, you're actually putting your pen to paper. And in our world, in our society, contractually signing something means more. We can argue back and forth. It's not worth the paper it's printed on and all that. However, there is some value to the sense of like, if you're putting your pen to paper, you are making a commitment. So number 2, it outlines the process, right? So there's no misunderstanding that, well, I thought you were just doing that for free. I didn't think I had to go with you. You know, we put it in pretty basic terms, what this means, right? Depending on what state you are, you can impose penalties or fees or charge, right? So, you know, if you can mark your hourly and you have some statement in there that says like, hey, if I put an X amount of hours in, I bill 125 bucks an hour or whatnot, you can prove that, you can bill. Some states. For me, one of the biggest thing was, and anybody who knows me knows I like to measure metrics, okay? So, excuse my writing. What this meant to me was our contingencies that when I got to a certain point were done on the iPad. That was done through our software. And I could tell how many contingencies had gotten signed, which means I could tell productivity. I could look at pipeline. I could know what we should come have down the, 2 months from now, we should have jobs coming in, right? If I got 50 of these getting signed a week and our approval rate is, 50%, that means we got 25 jobs that are gonna be coming in, say 3-4 weeks from now, right? Something like that. So I could measure those metrics. That was big to me. And one of the last things is it makes your guys ask for the sale, right? Essentially, we want to get people agreeing to buy in any sales process. So those are our pluses. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure you guys have more, but that's kind of the gist of what I had summed up. Now, why not to sign them, right? Some states, it's illegal. Down here in Florida, it's illegal. There are guys that do them, and there are guys that go to jail for it. Some people like to do illegal stuff. We cannot discuss the insurance claim. We cannot say we're gonna give them a roof for their insurance claim. We cannot mention roof insurance claim. It is a very sticky situation down here. And so we have to be very careful with what we sign, what we say, what we market. This marketing is not right now for Cat 5. This marketing is for school, for all of you guys. And so in terms of that, we cannot do that here. Some people, homeowners and sales guys in company, right, view it as a pressured sale. Okay, which there is legislation in some states against bullying, bullying sales, right? And so we got to be careful about that depending on where we're at. Like a lot of people have said, it's unenforceable, okay? Now, I know you don't want to go tell your homeowners that. And I don't know that even if it was, if you want to go down that path, right? We want to sue people who don't want to do business with us. We want the extra BBBs, the bad Google reviews, the bad word of mouth, right? Do you want the client, if they're going to use you anyways, they're probably not going to pay. So either way, but in a lot of places, they really are unenforceable. And some companies and sales guys, owners, want to prove the value first before they go asking for the sale over here, right? So they want to prove value first and then ask for the sale. Now, one thing that nobody mentioned and that a lot of people don't realize is that what if it's denied? Or what if it's not denied, it's underpaid? So you got to realize that when you look at all these good things right over here under yes, why you want to do it, you're assuming that claim is getting paid profitably, that claim is getting paid in full. I know we can supplement, all that stuff. However, in some of the work that we do in the large loss stuff, we go in for mitigation claims. We start with mitigation claims. Those translate into, huge condominium claims, resort claims, things like that. But when we go in, we don't know what that price is going to be. So we have to have a contract that outlines that. If that contract does not have a rate sheet attached to it and does not have prices attached to it and does not outline things for you, you can legally find your way into having and being obligated to do that work for what the insurance company provides. That also gives the insurance carrier a way out to say, I don't have to pay that. Your contract with your client says they'll do it for whatever I provide. Here's what I'm providing. There's no damages to you as the client, right? So essentially, right, if we're sitting here saying, well, hey, the price is $3 million, and the carrier says I'm paying $2 million, they're going to ask that customer for the contract with their contractor, right? They're going to say, well, give me your agreement. And when they hand it over to them, if there's contingency language in there, the carrier has a huge loophole out, okay? There's ways to back that up. It is with a detailed rate sheet and it has to be accounted for and you need a good audit. However, you have to be very careful, especially in anything large loss, that you don't kneecap yourself that way, right? So here's some things why to do it, here's some things why not to do it. Those are gonna be the choice of your business and how you run things. I'm not here to tell you to do it, to not do it, but what I am here to tell you is from my history and from my past, I can tell you that after 20 years of doing it this way, and after a few years of doing it this way, consulting and seeing things all in between, there's one thing, especially, that will help you get a better close rate, keep more customers on the hook, and have everybody on the same page. And that is one thing. Call in the claims. Whoops. Spelling. With your client. Okay? What's that mean? Simple, right? When you're there, you do your inspection, and you let them know they have damage, or you let them know what you can do for them, or you get them their offer, you get them the pitch, or whatever your process is at your company, call the claim in with your client, okay? If you are there with them, it is a ton more likely that you will be at that adjustment, that they're using you, and that they will go through the whole process with you. I would have called BS on this years ago. We have done it this way. It works. Do customers still back out? Sure. They still back out here. They still back out here. Customers are customers, right? So here's some techniques to let them know of why you want to call the claim in right then and there with them, right? Number one, scheduling. Listen, you know, Mrs. Johnson, your adjuster is going to probably want to schedule a time to come out here and look at this, right? And they're going to want to see what I found. I can be here with you to show them what I saw. I can't discuss the claim with them, but I can present them with an estimate for you if you'd like, and I can show them what I've seen. Now, I'm a busy man. They're running all over the place. They're probably going to want to schedule that. Rather than us go back and forth and me put you in the middle, I can just sit right alongside you here today. And when they offer you some times, I can look at my schedule and I can let you know when we can connect on it. Right? Perfect way, right? Number two, what the scope is. Not in detail, but what did you see, right? What's the damage? They'll ask them, you know, okay, well, what's the reason for the claim? And rather than just kind of running through them with them quick, you can be there to let them know all the items. You can let them know it's going to exceed the deductible, all that good stuff, right? So schedule, what's the scope, and essentially the pitfalls of the claim process, right? So it is annoying and it is frustrating to clients to have to go through this claim process. And you can let them know, listen, the insurance companies don't make this easy. This is what I do every day. I understand it's not what you do every day. They're gonna ask you a bunch of questions. They might try to hang you up. I can be here in case you have anything at all that you need to ask me. Put it on mute. I'll be sitting right on the side of you. Ask me, go ahead and finish the conversation. That way we make sure the claim gets filed correctly and that we don't have any issues right off the bat, right? So, 3 reasons to do it. Now, are these all necessary? Probably not, but what we do know is that this right here makes you more money. Either one of these will result in a higher percentage for you to make more money if you're there to do that with them, okay? So whether or not you like sub-twos, contingencies, whether or not you don't, it's a business practice, it's entirely up to you. But what I can tell you is either way, if you're doing either one of these, well, you are doing either one of these. If you're not doing this, you're losing money. And that's not why we're doing this. That's not why we're in business. So I strongly suggest that y'all start this practice if you're not doing it. If your reps have a hard time pitching that, if they have a hard time implementing that in the system, I've always found it's easier if we just put that process on paper so that you can put it in your pitch, you can hand it to the homeowner, you can show it's what your business practice is, and y'all can run through this with your clients. And hopefully get more adjustments, get more approvals, make more money.